Okay, the next part is students need to actually be writing here, right? They need to be doing some things. They need to start getting this stuff on paper so that we can start providing some of that feedback and focusing on different areas. So as they're writing, we're providing feedback in the moment, right? As they're doing this. We don't want it to be okay, they have finished and now we give them some feedback and they're just done with it. So we want to make sure they're getting it in the moment. So for me, as students are writing, I might use a tool like Brisk teaching, which I have down here. And I can give feedback on their writing right here, and kind of I could feed in my criteria. I could do anything right here. And so what that's going to do is kind of look through their stuff. So as they're writing this on Google Classroom, I'm kind of going through. Maybe I'm making just my own comments as well, just making sure that they're hitting what I need them to hit on. Perhaps I'm doing little callbacks with students just to quickly have like a 2-minute conversation with them, and I can get through all of my students in a couple class periods as they're writing on this. Okay, but after they've been writing for a while, I want them to engage in the feedback process as well. So before they start giving feedback to each other, I want them to be able to give good, meaningful feedback. So I might set up a space on here, like for example, on Magic School, I have set up a custom chatbot for my students to work on. I want them to practice giving meaningful feedback on their peers' work, but I want them, right? You know, the kids oftentimes are like, oh, yeah, it's good. Or maybe the writing is so good that I don't know how to give feedback, or maybe it's not good and I don't know how to give feedback that would be helpful. So this space is going to guide them through this, helping them understand how to give meaningful feedback and to identify levels on the rubric. It's going to ask them targeted questions to prompt their feedback at different points, making sure they articulate clearly and constructively and maybe use evidence. So I told this space, I'm going to attach the guidelines for the project and a rubric. I'm giving them the middle of the road exemplar. So maybe you need to give another exemplar or another example of your assignment, but this is a story they'll provide feedback on. So boom, they have it right there. Come to the space. Okay, where do you want to start? What stands out? So I talked about there's not much descriptive language, and so it's asking me, hey, can you point out a specific part where you think this would help? For example, when the writer mentions the puppy or describes Christmas dinner, what details? Remember, it's helpful to think about specific spot, why the description would help, and suggest what kind of details could be added. So I found a sentence. I was like, it's vague. It could be more descriptive. Doing this. Excellent feedback. You've done a great job by doing these things. Let's organize it. Again, we can look at another part of the story. I would have them do this either maybe individually for a little bit or maybe in small groups as well so that they can kind of discuss it and kind of come up together as a group what they want to type in this space. But we can bring that back, have a whole class discussion. Okay, what are some things we need to remember when we give that feedback? So now that they've done this and have had some practice, now I think they're ready to participate in giving feedback and receiving feedback to others following those same guidelines.